A year ago. If you told me I'd be sitting in my car outside my parents' house, debating whether I should go in or just drive away forever, I'd have laughed in your face. But here I am, again. And honestly, I don't even know why I picked up the damn phone last week when Mom called. I should have let it ring out like I usually do. But something in her voice, shaky, uncertain, it got to me. Anyway, before I spiral, let me take you back, because none of this makes sense unless you understand what they did to me. Let's rewind. 8 years ago, I was 15, high school sophomore, mid-tier grades. Kept my head down, mostly kept to myself. You know, typical middle kid energy. My older sister, Madison, straight A student, captain of the debate team, practically raised by Pinterest. My younger brother, Tyler, mom's pride and joy. Kid could have burned the house down and still gotten a second helping of dessert. And then there was me, Jason. I wasn't the problem child, but I sure as hell wasn't the favorite. I guess I just existed in between. Our dad, retired military, treated the house like a barracks and his collection of baseball memorabilia like holy relics. I'm talking signed cards, rare baseballs, custom-made display cases, stuff he'd spent decades collecting. One Saturday morning, he bursts into my room, waving one of his prized knives like it's Exhibit A in a murder trial. "Why the hell is this in your drawer?" I blinked at him, still half asleep. "What? I don't know. I didn't put it there." But that didn't matter. My denial was just more proof I was lying. And just like that, I was the family thief. No trial, no defense, no asking if maybe, just maybe, someone else could have put it there. From that day on, I was under lockdown. Every time something went missing, a 20 from Mom's wallet, a limited edition card, guess who got blamed? "Jason, we need to talk." "Jason, where's your brother's headset, Jason? You've got 5 seconds to tell me the truth." I'd tried to defend myself. UTF, I didn't even go in your room. But it didn't matter. The minute they found that first knife in my drawer, it was like all logic left the building. You know how people say, innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, not in our house. I went from just middle kid to household suspect. No one said it directly, but the energy shifted. Like my presence became a problem they had to manage. Things got worse. They took my phone, grounded me for weeks. I missed my 16th birthday. Not like a no-party situation, I mean full-on silence. No cake, no happy birthday. Just my dad telling me, "When you earn our trust, maybe we'll celebrate something again." Cool, thanks, Dad. Real motivational. And while I was scrubbing the garage floor with a damn toothbrush, Tyler was playing Xbox in the living room. Madison. She just closed her door and pretended none of it existed. I kept asking myself, what if I actually did do something and forgot that's how far they pushed me? I was Googling things like, can you steal in your sleep? I mean, come on. What 15-year-old kid is second-guessing their own F******ing memory just because their parents treat them like a criminal? Fast forward a few months, stuff keeps disappearing. A signed card from Dad's collection goes missing, the one he'd framed. Cue the yelling. Cue the stomping into my room. Cue the accusation speech I could probably recite in my sleep at that point. But this time, he's not just mad. He's raging. "You're gonna tell me where it is, or I swear." He tears my room apart, like actually destroys it. Drawers flipped, backpack dumped, clothes thrown everywhere. All while I'm standing there, just numb. Not crying, not yelling, just frozen. Because what's the point? You ever feel like you're invisible? Except when someone's looking for someone to blame? That was me. Family gatherings became hell. Cousins making jokes. My uncle once whispered, "Better check your pockets. Jason's around," and laughed. Yeah, real hilarious. At school, people started hearing stuff. My mom had told her church friend what was happening. Guess what? Her son went to my school. Kids whispering, teachers giving me side eyes. You know what the worst part was? Not that they didn't believe me. Not even the punishments. It was the way they looked at me, like I was broken, like I'd failed some unspoken test. And once someone looks at you like that, it sticks. So, what did I do? I shut down. Stopped going out. Stayed in my room. Did chores like a damn prisoner. I stopped asking for stuff. Stopped defending myself. Stopped talking. Because why bother? They already decided who I was. And then one night, everything boiled over. Dad's prized baseball goes missing. Like, the ball. Signed by his favorite player. Kept in a sealed case. On a shelf with a little spotlight above it. And just like clockwork, stomp, stomp, stomp. Door bursts open. Where is it? I swear to God, my heart dropped into my stomach. I was sweating, panicking, stammering. I don't have it. He didn't care. Mom followed right behind, arms crossed, disappointed, disgusted. We've given you every chance. Like I was some kind of experiment that failed. That night, I hit my breaking point. Not because of the yelling, not even the search. It was the way my mom said, "You've taken enough from this family already." Like I was a parasite, like I didn't belong. And that's how I stopped trying. I gave up on them. The people who were supposed to protect me, see the best in me, give me the benefit of the doubt they buried me. They chose to believe a lie because it was easier than admitting they were wrong. And the worst part, the real thief was sitting on the couch, controller in hand, smirking. Tyler, 3 weeks after the great baseball blow-up, I started noticing weird stuff in the house. Not big stuff, just little things that didn't make sense. Like how Tyler, my baby brother Tyler, who had zero allowance, didn't have a job, and still asked Mom for gas money, suddenly had a new pair of Jordans. Not just any Jordans, limited drops, clean, not even a smudge. And then I saw him wearing a vintage Nirvana hoodie, tagged, original print. I'm sorry. What 13-year-old suburban kid is shelling out $200 on Depop for grunge fashion when he still sleeps with the lights on? Something was off. So, I started paying attention. Like, really watching him. He was sneaky. I'll give him that. Always waited till late, like 1 or 2 when everyone was asleep, and he'd creep out of his room barefoot, like a damn raccoon. And always toward Dad's office. You know the feeling when your gut tells you something, and your brain wants to ignore it because the truth is too damn ugly. That's where I was. But I couldn't ignore it anymore, so I did something I wasn't proud of. I installed a camera, not high tech, not some spy movie Shasterisk tee, just an old webcam from a junk drawer and a busted laptop I fixed up. Hid it inside a book spine with a slit, pointed it straight at the hallway that led to Dad's office. No one noticed. Not even Mom, queen of, why is this drawer open 2 millimeters more than yesterday? And within 4 days, boom. Caught. There was Tyler, sneaking into Dad's office at 2:14 a.m., flashlight in one hand, wearing socks and a hoodie like some dollar store ninja. He opened Dad's drawer, took out a stack of baseball cards, slid one into his hoodie pocket, and left. No hesitation, like he'd done it 100 times. I sat there, staring at the footage, just buzzing, angry. Sure, but also weirdly calm, like my brain had been yelling at me for years. You're not crazy. And finally, I had proof. Now, I didn't go running to my parents immediately. I wanted to be smarter than that. They didn't believe me before, why would they now? So I let it ride. I let Tyler dig his own damn grave. For 2 weeks, I kept the cam rolling, collected 6 separate clips. Each time he took something: cards, cufflinks, even an envelope full of cash from Dad's retirement folder. I saved the timestamp, labeled the file, backed it up twice. Meanwhile, he strutted around the house like a king. Dad was losing his mind because stuff keeps disappearing. And guess who he glared at during dinner? Yep, me. Jason, anything you want to tell us? Nope, got nothing. Mom chimed in too. You've been quiet lately. That's usually when you're hiding something. I bit the inside of my cheek so hard it bled. Maybe I'm just tired of being treated like asterisk T for something I didn't do. Dead silence. Forks down. Nobody said a word. And Tyler, that little punk, just sipped his damn juice like he was in a detergent commercial. One night, I caught him red-handed taking Dad's signed rookie card. That was the line. That was the line. So I exported all the footage, clipped the best shots, and created a little compilation. I even added captions and slowed down the clip where he smirks at the camera like some villain. Then I emailed it to myself, uploaded it privately to YouTube, and labeled the folder Truth. But I still didn't show them. Not yet. Because I wanted them to feel what I felt, not just realize it logically. I wanted it to hurt, just like they hurt me. Then came Thanksgiving. Big family dinner. Grandma, cousins, all of them packed into the house. Mom in her element. Dad in his stiff-ass polo shirt pretending he didn't hate everyone. And me quiet, calm, watching. Then, during dinner, my Aunt Loudmouth Linda jokes across the table. Better keep your wallets close. Folks, Jason's here. Laughter, full table, even Tyler laughed. My stomach twisted. I looked at my mom. She smiled politely, didn't defend me. Dad sipped his beer, looked at his plate. That was it. That was the moment. After dinner, while everyone was in the living room with pie and reruns of Friends on TV, I pulled the TV off HDMI and plugged in my USB. Clicked play. The hallway footage popped up. No music, no dramatic intro, just Tyler stealing, clip after clip. It took 10 seconds for the room to go dead silent. 30 seconds in, Mom gasped. A minute later, Dad stood up, eyes locked on the screen, and at the 1:37 mark, Tyler turned to look straight at the camera, smirked, and walked off with the signed rookie card. I clicked pause, turned around. So, still think I'm the thief? The fallout was immediate. Mom burst into tears. Dad turned red like a pressure cooker about to blow. Tyler tried to say something. I was just, save it. I said, you've had 8 years of free passes. Game's over. He stormed upstairs. No apology. Just slammed his door like the little coward he was. Uncle Phil mumbled something about damn kids these days. Grandma looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time in years. I grabbed my jacket and started walking toward the door. Mom followed. Jason, wait. Please. No, I said. You had years to listen. Now you can sit with the truth. And I left. The next morning, my inbox was flooded. Texts from Mom, missed calls, a voicemail from Dad. We need to talk. Too late. They didn't believe me when it mattered. They made me question myself, humiliated me, treated me like I was disposable. And now that the mask was off Tyler's face, they wanted reconciliation. Screw that. They raised a golden child and sacrificed the one kid who actually gave a she*T. They don't get to cry about it now. Funny thing is, I didn't feel joy, no rush, no celebration, just peace. Finally, because it was never about revenge. It was about being seen, and that Thanksgiving night, they saw everything. A few days after the Thanksgiving bomb, I was back at my apartment, laying low, ignoring every damn notification like it was my part-time job. My phone buzzed constantly. Voicemails from Dad, texts from Mom, even my cousin Melissa randomly sending, "Are you okay?" like she hadn't laughed at Aunt Linda's petty joke 2 days earlier. Nah, I wasn't in the mood. Then came the big one, an email from my mom. Subject line. Please read this. It's important. Okay. That got me. Not because I expected anything sincere, but because I wanted to see how they'd spin it. I opened it, expecting more guilt tripping or some manipulative "we were just trying to protect you" line. But it was different. She actually owned it. She admitted they failed me, that they believed what was convenient, that it was easier to call me a problem than admit Tyler was the real issue. She wrote, "We broke something in you, and I don't know if we can ever fix it, but we want to try." She said they were planning to help cover my student loans and buy me a car to make up for the years we took from you. And for a moment, just a second, I felt something like hope. But then I remembered how they watched me suffer, how they stood by and let their golden boy skate free, how they canceled my 16th birthday and called that discipline. You can't undo trauma with cash. You can't return someone's teenage years with a down payment. I closed the email and didn't reply. The next day, my dad called. I almost let it go to voicemail like usual.
But something in me wanted to hear him say it out loud. No screens, no buffer. So I answered, "Hey." Long pause.
Hey, son, I wanted to say I'm sorry.
Silence.
He went on. Said he watched the videos 3 more times, trying to understand how they missed it. How he missed it. We thought we were being good parents. Teaching you accountability. Turns out we were just being cruel. I didn't say anything. I just let him talk. Then he dropped this. We're selling some stuff. A few of my collectibles. Your mom's old jewelry. We're putting the money toward your debt. You shouldn't have to carry the weight we put on you. Okay, that part hit harder than I expected. He sounded tired. Not performative. Not dad laying down the law. Just human. But I still couldn't say what he wanted to hear. That's fine. I appreciate it. But this doesn't change anything. Not yet. I know, he said. We just want a chance, even if it's small. A week later, Tyler got arrested, stole our grandfather's pickup truck, and crashed it into a light pole 2 miles from home. He was joyriding at 2 a.m. and totaled it. He wasn't drunk or high, just reckless. When I got the text from my sister Madison, who, by the way, had stayed completely out of the drama all these years, I couldn't even process it. All I could think was, of course, the kid who torched our family would take it to another level. And here's the kicker, my parents bailed him out, dropped everything, emptied what was left of his college fund, and got him out before the ink was dry on the arrest report. Meanwhile, I was over here working 2 jobs and rationing groceries. Still, they reached out again, told me they wanted to use what was left of Tyler's college money to buy me that car. The same fund that was once off limits because trust is earned, not given. Irony, right? I told them no, again. I didn't want their money. I wanted what was stolen from me: respect, trust, my ***ing dignity. You don't get to beat someone down for years and then try to glue it back together with Amazon packages and checkbooks. Then, about a month later, I got a knock at my apartment door. It was Madison. I hadn't seen her in 2 years. She was holding 2 cups of coffee and wearing that same Oregon State hoodie she practically lived in during high school. "Hey," she said, "you busy?" I stepped aside. She walked in like she belonged there. We sat on my floor because, I still hadn't bought a couch. She handed me coffee and didn't say anything for a full minute. Then she whispered, "I'm sorry I didn't speak up." She told me she always suspected Tyler, but she didn't know for sure. And she didn't want to get involved. She said she felt like **T watching me go through everything. But she was scared of becoming the next target. And now I can't stop thinking about how you handled it. I'd have lost my mind. But you just waited, watched, and then dropped that video like a nuke. We both laughed. Dark humor, but that's how we always coped. "I wish I had your patience," she said. "It wasn't patience. It was survival," I replied. We sat in silence again, but this time it felt okay. Later that night, I wrote an actual message to my parents. Not a rant, not a breakdown, just a statement. I appreciate the effort to make things right. I really do. But I'm not ready to come back. I don't trust you yet. And that's not something a check or a gift can fix. I need time. Please don't contact me unless it's an emergency. I'll reach out when I'm ready. I hit send, blocked the numbers, logged out of family chats. And for the first time in years, I slept through the night without dreaming of being accused. People always think revenge means getting even, making someone suffer. But for me, it was silence. It was closing the door and not waiting for them to come knocking. It was choosing peace over proving myself again and again. It was saying, "You don't get access to me anymore." And that's the thing they'll never understand. I didn't win. I just walked away. And I didn't look back. About 2 months after I cut them off, I started getting updates through Madison. Not that I asked for them, but I didn't block her. She's the only one I still trust from that whole circus. She called one night, kind of quiet. "You're not going to believe this," she said. "Tyler's been stealing again. From mom and dad, like straight out of their emergency fund." I just sighed. Of course he was. Apparently,
The little prince had been sneaking money to buy video games, snacks, and Uber Eats every night. The kicker: he was still living under Grandma and Grandpa's roof, after crashing their truck, after nearly getting arrested again for skipping probation meetings. You'd think maybe this would finally be the moment, the wake-up call. But nah. Tyler was still Tyler. And my parents still trying to fix him. They're terrified to actually punish him, Madison said. They keep making excuses. I wasn't even mad at that point. Just done. So done. It hit me that while I got exiled and mentally wrecked for years over *T, I never even touched. Tyler was out here burning down bridges in broad daylight and still getting free passes. I remember pacing in my apartment that night thinking, what if I never showed them those videos? What if I let him keep winning? Would they have ever figured it out? Or would I still be the family thief in their little fantasy? That's when I knew. I wasn't going back. I sat down and wrote a message. Not long, not emotional, just the truth. I've thought about everything. The apology, the money, that we want to fix this talk. But it's not enough, not because I want revenge, but because I need peace. I can't trust you again. Not now. Maybe not ever. I'm moving forward. Please don't contact me. I'll reach out if that ever changes. And then I hit send. Blocked their numbers again. Deleted the old voicemails. Cleaned out every trace. I didn't do it to hurt them. I did it to finally *****ing breathe. Weeks went by. My life slowly settled. I focused on work. Took late walks without looking over my shoulder. Even started reading again the kind of books I used to love before they took everything from me. It felt like thawing out after years stuck in a freezer. Then Madison called again. Liam's being charged, officially this time. Apparently, he stole a friend's bike, actually took it off their porch and tried to sell it online. Got caught, charged. He was now in some juvenile probation program. And Grandma was done. They're talking about kicking him out, she said. For good this time. And my parents. Clueless, powerless, running out of people to ask for help. Apparently, even some of their friends started backing off. Church friends, golf buddies, the folks who used to nod when my mom said, we're just trying to raise him right, like it was gospel. Now they were watching the Golden Boy spiral and it wasn't cute anymore. Madison said my dad looked like he aged 10 years in a month. He's tired, she said, worn down, like he's been trying to undo 8 years in a few weeks. Good luck with that. Another week passed. Then I got an email, not from my parents, from Grandma. Which was wild, because she was one of the ones who used to give me those disappointed stares back in the day. Like I was some stray dog who tracked mud into the family room. The email was short, polite, but it hit. Jason, I was wrong. We were all wrong, and I'm sorry. You didn't deserve what we put you through. I hope you're doing okay. I read it 3 times, sat back in my chair, didn't reply. Not because I hated her, but because I didn't need anything from her anymore. It was like standing in a burned-down house and finally realizing you don't want to rebuild. It's just time to leave. One night, I ran into an old friend from high school. We were both grabbing groceries. She did a double take when she saw me. Jason, oh my God, how are you? We chatted for a while. She brought up the incident because, even she'd heard about it back then. Everyone thought you were stealing your dad's baseball cards. She said, that was the gossip. I laughed. Harder than I expected. Yeah, turns out it was my little brother. She blinked. Wait, seriously, no way. I just nodded. They know now. Took them 8 years and a home security setup. But yeah, they figured it out. We talked a little more. She told me I seemed calmer, lighter. I guess I was. It was wild. For so long, I'd carried that anger, that shame, like a damn badge. It defined everything I did, every relationship, every room I walked into. But now it was just something that happened to me, not who I was. Later that night, I sat by my window with a drink and thought about all of it. The betrayals, the silence, the isolation, the rage, the little victories, the camera, the video, the way their faces fell. It didn't feel like revenge. It felt like release. Like I'd finally stopped bleeding for a wound I didn't cause. They say time heals everything, but that's not true. Time just gives you enough distance to stop letting it own you. I wasn't over it. I might never be. But I wasn't in it anymore. And that made all the difference. About 2 months after that final email to my parents, I got a letter in the mail.
Not an email, not a text, a real-ass handwritten letter. From my dad. It was 4 pages long, front and back, like some old-school confessional from a guy who finally realized his house was on fire and he was the one holding the match the whole time.
He didn't try to sugarcoat anything. For once, he wrote about how he used to pride himself on being a fair parent, someone who taught values and discipline. But now, he saw it for what it was: control, ego, a refusal to see what was in front of him. He admitted he saw himself in me, and that's why he was harder on me. That's why, when things started going missing, it was easier to believe I was the screw-up. Because if I was the broken one, he didn't have to look at himself.
Honestly, that part of ****ed me up a little. It's weird, hearing the truth doesn't always heal you. Sometimes it just rips the scar wide open again so you can finally clean out all the rot.
He ended the letter with, "We still have a long way to go. I don't expect your forgiveness, but I'll wait for it, if it ever comes." I folded the letter and stuck it in my desk drawer. Didn't throw it away. Didn't reply either. Just let it sit. About a week later, Madison called again.
Tyler's officially been kicked out.
Apparently, Grandpa caught him trying to steal a check from his desk. After everything, they were done. No more bailouts, no more second chances. He was staying with some friend from school now, couch surfing and trying to figure it out. Meanwhile, my parents were unraveling. Madison said Mom was barely sleeping. Dad stopped going to golf league. They were acting like they were in mourning. But the person they were grieving wasn't Tyler. It was the idea of Tyler, the golden boy who never existed.
"I think they're realizing you were never the problem," she said.
And all I could say was,
"Too late."
I started seeing a therapist. Yeah, I know, classic millennial move, but I needed it. Not to move on from what happened, but to finally understand how deep the damage went. Turns out, years of being treated like a liar when you're not, that ***T doesn't just go away. It sticks to your ribs, shows up in your relationships, your self-worth, how you respond to conflict. It makes you question every instinct. Every time someone says, "I believe you," a voice in your head whispers, "Do they really? Or are they just being nice?" My therapist called it survival skepticism. Said it's common in people who grew up in households where trust was used as a weapon. That hit hard.
I'd been carrying all this weight like it was just part of me. Like it was normal. But it wasn't. And I didn't have to keep dragging it around. Fast forward to last month.
I was walking home from work, headphones in, feeling decent. It was one of those rare, perfect weather days where everything smells like sun and pavement. Then I saw a car parked outside my building. Recognized the plates immediately. It was them. I froze. My hands started sweating. My heart did that tight skip it used to do when I heard Dad yelling from the kitchen. But I kept walking, straight past them. Didn't even look. Then I heard Mom's voice behind me.
"Jason, please, just give us 2 minutes."
I stopped, turned around slow. They looked tired, worn, older. Not the angry monsters I remembered, but not strangers either. Just people. Flawed. Broken people who ***** it up real bad. I said everything I needed to say. I told them. "We know," Dad said, "but we haven't." They didn't cry. Didn't beg. Just stood there. Like they'd finally accepted that this wasn't some movie where everything wraps up with a hug and a music swell. "We're not asking to be in your life again," Mom said. "We just want you to know. We see it now. All of it." They handed me another envelope. I didn't open it, just nodded. "Okay, you said your piece. Now go." And they did. I opened the envelope later that night. Inside a check. A big one. Enough to wipe out most of my student debt. Attached to it was a note.
Barely 2 lines.
This won't fix what we broke. But maybe it helps lift some of what we left you carrying. I stared at that check for hours.
Part of me wanted to rip it up. Another part of me, the exhausted, rational, inhuman part, wanted to cash it and finally breathe a little easier. So I did. Because healing doesn't mean you have to be noble all the time. Sometimes it just means accepting the tools you need to move forward, even if they come from the same people who hurt you.
It didn't change anything between us.
I'm still not ready to let them in.
But I don't feel rage anymore. Not even resentment. Just distance.
Clear, healthy, earned distance.
They live with their guilt now, and I live with my freedom.